Hi there, I am here. I'm just trying to muck about with my computer screen at the moment so I can see what's going on. Hi there, Lizzie. Hope you're well. This was really last minute organising this. Hi there, Karen. So sorry about the last minuteness of it. I don't know if people got notified that I was going to go live. I'm going to try and do 2 projects tonight. I'm just making the most of the fact that my husband's gone out to watch the football. Hello there, Dad. And hopefully the internet won't play up because I only have Wi-Fi on this phone, not a data. Hello there, Janice. So we'll see how it goes. I do intend to put a recording of this on YouTube, so if you're watching on YouTube, scroll on a couple of minutes just while I'm waiting for people to join us. Hello there, Val. Hi there, Greg. It's been an absolutely beautiful day here in Mid Wales. I hope that's been the same for the rest of you. I'll show you in a second what I'm going to make. I've got a few things in front of me here, you might be able to notice. Just wait and see if any more are going to join. Certainly got a lot more on than I had last week, and I'm still traumatised from last week's live, which the first half an hour was a complete and utter disaster, and I did manage to put it together for the second half of that. So I've got everything prepped next to me. Now often when I prep stuff, it goes a little bit wrong. If I wing it, it seems to go really well, but it didn't. Oh, it's been horrible in the southeast of England. Well, that makes a change. And it's been glorious here. I'm not sure where everyone is from. Lizzie, whereabouts in the world are you? And I can't remember where Val is from. I've got a feeling Val is... Are you Devon, or is that Hazel that's Devon? I do try and remember these things. And then we've got Greg there, who's over in the States. Ah, West Yorkshire, yes. So you're... Now, Ilkley, is that place? Oh, what do they call it? Ilkley by Tat or something like that. I can't remember. You're probably not far away from our Victoria. Is she West Yorkshire? Is Huddersfield West Yorkshire? You can tell my British geography isn't great. Ilkley Moor Bar Tat, that's it. Oh, that's nice, Janice. Are you enjoying your retirement, Janice? And is Peter retired as well? So you both off out and about doing different things together. And what does bar tat mean? Does it mean without your hat or something like that? No, you're singing. I don't know how the song goes. I've no idea how the song goes. Oh, I was right then, Val. Devon. I don't know if my dad's mistyped something there. I'm not quite sure what he means by UES. Right, should we get going? We've got 9 of us now. That number seems to be stabilising there. So thank you. Oh, hi there, Heather. Thank you. I've got 2 from... got 2 Scottish ones in here. I forgot what I was going to say now. I always interrupt myself and then I forget what I'm... Oh, you meant yes. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, we're about kind of 8 or 9 at the moment, which is very nice. So you might have realised that last week I got my arrow fold and my crisscross pointy card totally mixed up. So I said, oh, oh, I'm going to make a fun fold. And I said, I'm going to do an arrow card. And what do I end up making? A crisscross pointy card. It's nothing like an arrow card. Well, it sort of is. You might be able to get away with thinking that's an arrow card, but it's not. That's not an arrow card. But I love the crisscross pointy card. I really like that. I just like the fact that you can mix up. Oh, there we go. I know my Northern. I've been married to one for the best part of 12 years, so I know my Northern speak. So I like the fact that you can mix and match the colours, and you can have contrast of colours, and I really liked this contrast here. So that was my crisscross pointy card that I thought was going to be an arrow fold card. And then I made an arrow fold card, but I didn't really like this. And the reason why I could only make it in this paper is that most of my paper that's down in my paper stash down to the side of me, most of it is 6x6 now. Sometimes cut it up for paper shares and stuff like that. Janice is still singing on Ilkley Moor Bartat. I can just about hear her in that. Are you singing it with a Scottish accent, Janice? No, that's an arrow card. That's a crisscross pointy card. But I got mixed up. This is the arrow card, and I must have made one of these a long time ago. And I haven't made one for a long, long time. So I did that, and that was a bit boring, really. So then I made another one, and I made this for a TikTok. And I've actually glued that bit down so I could take a photograph of it. So this looks much nicer. So I've used the Hues of Happiness paper here. And I teamed that with Coastal Cabana, which I've not used in such a long time. And that, I don't know if it's an exact match, but I was happy with that. And then it's got a little bit of extra card in there as well, just to put your, oh, they're still singing. Try not to look at the comments because now they're making me laugh. But I just put an extra bit of card in there so I could put a sentiment. So there's just about enough room to write a message, but you could put some blank card on the back and have another sentiment on there as well. So the other thing that I've made this week, and I haven't done any tutorials for them, is this diagonal gatefold card, which I absolutely love this, and I've seen this all over YouTube, but the first person I saw make this was our Karen Egan. And so I've made a few of these because they kept going wrong, and I bet Karen Egan knows why, because I sliced my paper in the wrong way, and I'd wasted a bit of this Regency Park paper, which, I mean, I was swearing last night when I was trying to make a TikTok with it. So anyway, there's our diagonal gatefold card, and again you can use, real contrast of paper. So I've got the dark blue, the light blue, and the white as well. So I really liked that. The only thing about this though is the envelope. Now I saw, is it Dawn Griffiths do this, and I think she said that she just folded it like that, but then when you then open it, if you got that in the post, would you actually know what to do with it and to fold that back and do that? So I think it's going to need a little box to go with it, which is something I'll have to do in another tutorial. It's too big to make your own envelope. I was watching Sam from Mixed Up Craft the other day, and she said, you can make an envelope any size. Well, you can, as long as you've got paper big enough to do that, which I wouldn't. So what shall I start off with? I think I'll start off with the arrow fold card. This one I think might be bigger measurements than perhaps we'd done before, Karen. I can't remember when I came to your house once and we made one of these, or I saw you making a YouTube video on this. But I wanted to make one that was a bit bigger. I'm trying to steer clear of the 4x6 cards because I think they're just too small. I don't think you would go into a card shop and buy a 4x6 card. We tend to buy them a bit bigger. What we don't do is we don't buy cards that have got these lovely fancy folds. So what I'm going to start off with is that I'm starting to think now that the catalogue has got probably only 2 months left. Am I... no, I don't think it would, Janice. It's a little bit bigger than that. I think it is a little bit bigger than that. And now you've asked me, I'm going to find out. That across there is over 7.5 inches. And that is 6 3/4 inches. So no, sadly it wouldn't. So I need to make a box for it. What was I saying? It's gone. It's totally gone. Oh, never mind. What was I going to do first? The arrow fold cards. I wasn't I? I can't remember what I was going to say. I don't know what's the matter with me lately. So I need my trimmer. And all my cards now are more or less starting off with a 5x7 card base. So I'm using Merry Merlot here. Oh yes, that's what I was saying about the catalogue. Now I think that the catalogue, annual and mini, will finish at the end of April. I picked up the mini catalogue yesterday and was expecting it to say January to June, but it's not, it's January to April. And I think this is where Stampin' Up have tried to coordinate the start and end dates of mini catalogues and of the main catalogue as well. So I've got a lot of paper to get used up in just over 2 months. Plus also we'll have new stuff to show off. So I'm trying to make a lot at the moment. Shall I stop gassing and just get on with this? So I'm going to trim this down to 10 inches. That's the long side down to 10 inches. And then this short side down to 7 inches. And then what I've got, because I honestly am just a little bit traumatised by last week's live, just because it went so wrong. It didn't go, I mean, horrendously wrong, but it did really, you know, I just thought I'm never doing these again. I just felt it was such a pillock. Anyway, so I've got my card next to me just to keep checking my measurements. Now I'm going to, on the long side, let's just get this in shot. On the long side, score this at 5 inches. Now for this arrow fold card, what I'm not going to do is fold the card in half. And the reason for that is that you kind of think you know where it's all going to finish off, and that actually ends up kind of backwards. Right, I'm going to bring this up a little bit. So I'm looking at the front of the card here, but it's not actually the front of the card, it ends up being the inside. Let's put my paper to one side, I don't need that at the moment. And I'm going to make some marks, and this is where I had to get the calculator out the other day to make sure I knew what half of all of these numbers were. So the first thing we're going to do, half of 7 is 3.5. So I'm going to make a mark right in the middle of that bottom edge. And then I'm going to also make a mark halfway down each side, or halfway up, however you want to see that. So half of 5 is 2.5. I'll do that on this side as well. So you kind of get a maths lesson along with a card tutorial as well. So now I've got those marks on there, which are probably quite difficult for you to see because the light shines right on top of this. I'm going to do some scoring. Is anyone crafting while they're watching? I know if I watch people live, I'm normally not necessarily crafting along with them, but I'm doing stuff to one side and I'm kind of just listening to them. Right, so what I'm going to do, let me just explain what I'm doing. I'm going to put a score line from that middle point to the top right, and then from that middle point then to that score line that we've got halfway up, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. I think though you could do this card in any size. I'm hoping I'm going to get all my score lines right because I can't get my head right over this project without you seeing my dreadful roots, which are being done tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon actually. That's not so bad. I'm going to do the same here, so from the middle up to that top corner. And then from there I've been doing a lot of fun folds recently because I've been on half term, so I've actually had some time to craft, which has been quite nice. So we've got some folding and some sticking to do now. Oh, Val's just watching. Well, that's nice. Yes, I'm going to do some folding and sticking. So with each of these folds here, the ones that go from the middle to the top, you're folding those in. Now, I said a bit of a maths lesson where we're halving numbers, and then a little bit later we've got to do triangles as well. And I always think when you're working with triangles in card making, you've got to be super accurate, or you've just got to kind of trim it to make it fit. So they're coming in like that, and then these lower scored lines, you're then folding that back on itself. Well, Janice is crocheting. I've never got the hang of crocheting. I can knit, and my mum always says, oh, but crocheting is so much easier. Oh, I've gone the wrong way with that. My mum always says that crocheting is so much easier, and I just can't do it. I can't even do a chain of stitches. I think, Karen, you prefer crocheting as well, don't you, to knitting? Well, I've got 12 of you on here at the moment. That's nice, better than the other night. So that's actually the inside of the card, because when you turn it round, that's actually what we're going to be looking at. Oh, now I'm jealous now of all these people that can crochet. So what we're going to do, try not to get the card to bash, is now fold that over so you're looking at that. But what we've got all of this bouncing about, and what we need to do is actually stick these down. So bring it back so that you're looking at the inside. And we're going to stick this bit here, to the inside like that, and then we'll stick those down. So I can have a little look at comments while I'm doing this. Janice, I thoroughly recommend this, just because now you're a lady that loves colours and loves mixing colours. You can really put a big contrast of colours on here. And to be honest, you don't even need to use DSP. You could do stamped card. Oh, thanks, Heather. I used to do a lot of knitting, and then when my youngest daughter said she was pregnant, I was going to make a blanket. I got absolutely nowhere with it. And then when my eldest daughter said she was pregnant, I didn't even bother trying to think about knitting anything. But I do like trying lots of different stitches. I can't remember the stitch that I was trying to do for this blanket I was making. It was cute, but I just couldn't keep track of my stitches. And just lost the plot with it. Right. So now what we've got is these two flaps here, so we need to stick those down. And Lisa Curcio taught me this top tip, just to make sure that you get all of your glue in the right places. I've just drawn a line here, which you can't see when it's all put together, and then we just put the glue in there. Hey, Wendy. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, when you've got a load of paper to use up. We know that this catalogue is coming out. I'm presuming that we'll have a pre-order at the beginning of April, and you just think, well, I've just got to get used up what I've got here first. I need to be strict with it and get it used. That gives me an incentive to do lots of YouTubes and Facebook Lives. How are you, Wendy? How's half term going? Have you survived? Just one day left. Well, then the weekend. Right, I've just got that glue going a bit too far, so I'm just going to push that in. So I'm just going to push that down a bit there. And then that needs a proper burnish. There we go. The better that's burnished, the better it sits, and that's just sitting quite nice. It's only got a little bounce on it there. Ready to ride DSP. What's that? I wonder if that's one that I've not heard of. And Wendy has survived going to the cinema tomorrow. Very excited children. Well, that sounds lovely. Right, so the next bit, I'm using this A Wash in Beauty, or is it A Wash with Beauty? Can't remember. But this designer series paper, and the reason I like this is because of the Merry Merlot. I love it. And I actually bought a whole pack of Merry Merlot card, or the motorbike one. Yes, I know what you mean. I love Merry Merlot and have barely used it since I've become a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So it's been nice to be able to use it. I was so glad when this was using Merry Merlot. So I need to trim this down to 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Let's hope I've got my measurements right. Oh, well done on getting that one, Janice, because that one didn't appeal to me at all. If I'm going to do more male orientated stuff, I just go with the darker colours, not necessarily with the male theme. Okay, so just need one piece of paper for this, and then we just trim it down. And what's going to happen is that we're going to fit that bit of card into these 3 spaces, doing a similar technique to what we did with the folds. So I'm going to mark this on the back. I'm going to get my calculator out. I think half of 6 3/4, I don't know, is 3 1/4. But I do have to get my calculator out to do this. 6.75 divided by 2. No, it's 3 3/8. What am I talking about? It's because I'm not working this week. Brain's not there. So 3 3/8. That is that one, I think. And then what we're going to do, we're going to slice from that middle point up to the corners. Got this a little bit out of shot, but I can't help that, I'm afraid. Right, hopefully I've got that halfway. Oh no, I'm going to check now. I got that at 3 7/8, 3 3/8. I have. That's all right then. So I think on this call I've got mainly demonstrators on here. Do we think, and I think I said this the other day, do we think we're going to get a colour refresh? In a way, I hope we don't, because I've got rather a lot of Granny Apple Green that I've not used. In fact, I ordered 2 packs by mistake. I've got a lot of cards that I really don't want to be thinking, oh, it's retired, that's it, I'm going to waste it all. It's the only downside to being a demonstrator, isn't it? I know some people keep it all and they use it all, but Karen reckons I do as well. I think because there's just been so much talk about it, and I think as well because it is the 35-year anniversary, and yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Now, you could, if you wanted to, do this in 3 stages. So this is stage 1 with the fold, And then you could actually have a piece of card, and we could have used perhaps, I don't know if the blue or the green really would have matched with the Merry Merlot, but you could have done this in different layers. So have your card at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then trim that, and then another piece, and then a piece of DSP at probably 6.5 by 4.5, and then trim that down. But I'm just doing it with one at the moment because it's getting late at night and I'd probably muck it up. So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to pop those on there like that, and then what happens is that this Merry Merlot card just breaks up that pattern. So let's get it stuck down. I wonder if my glue will play ball tonight. It didn't yesterday, and I'll tell you what I did. I threw it across the room because I was so cross with it. Now, the other thing you have to do is watch the direction of your paper as well. Oh, everybody thinks there's going to be a refresh. I had a dream the other night that they brought Tranquil Tide back. That was one of the first in colours when I first joined. Tranquil Tide. Oh, yeah, that's the point, isn't it? I forgot about that, Val. Yeah. I love Pretty Peacock. And that will be... Oh, this glue. And I think that will... Because we're losing Evening Evergreen, which I absolutely adore, and it's featured in one of my projects tonight. I have to keep making sure that's the right way around. I've had to find another pot of glue. Oh my gosh, this doesn't want to work either. And it's not that, before Karen tells me off, it's not that I leave the top off, because I haven't. I put them all away last night. It just likes annoying me if I'm doing a YouTube video. Oh, there we go, we're working. A YouTube video or a Facebook Live and my glue goes, nah, I'm not going to work. I'm going to make you look a right numpty. And I'm not brave enough to use dispenser glue. I do prefer a liquid glue. Purely because you can wiggle that about on there and get it right. Yeah, so Pretty Peacock, if that comes back, I'm going to be really happy. Lost Lagoon, that's an old one for me. I mean, I've been a demonstrator for nearly 6 years, with a teeny tiny break 3 years ago. I don't remember Lost Lagoon. I bet it was blue, wasn't it? Blue or green. And actually, in my dream, they brought 3 greens in, or kind of greeny, bluey colours. I have to say, I have barely used, i.e. hardly touched, in fact, really not used at all, the 2022-24 in colours. They don't float my boat, unfortunately. Oh, I've just got my paper stuck in there. So all you want to do when you make sure when you've put these side ones on is that there's no card gap there, that the only gap that you've got is from the top flap and not from there. Not that it matters, not that you'd notice, I don't think. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim a piece of white card to put in the middle. I've got a piece to one side here. Boho blue. So is it going to be just lots of green and blues? I'm presuming that Lost Lagoon is blue or green. Right, that's the main part of the card. I'm just having a look at Boho blue. Oh right, the mini die cut machine. Yes, there was a boho blue there as well, wasn't there? Totally behind with it. I had a period of time at work where I didn't even know what day of the week it was. So I think I missed out on a lot of things there, not knowing what was happening. Right, let's get a bit of card going to put in the middle. Find a small jar and leave the top on your glue. Oh, has the internet gone again? No, I think that might, no, we're all right. I think there's a slight delay. And stand it nose down, it'll always be ready to use. Oh, I know, yeah. Karen Egan made me something. It's a little square pot. And I put it in there, and even then I still find it gums up. I think it just doesn't like me. I think that's what it is. Right, this needs to be 6 3/4. So I've just got a bit of white card to go on the inside. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a survey as well. I've been doing a lot of card making this week because I've been off, and so I've generated a lot of scraps. Now I want to show you what scraps I've generated, and I want to know, would you keep them or would you bin them? So this is what I've generated. I have got lots of this, just strips and strips, not that, and strips of white card. So I want to know, would you keep it or would you bin it? Or put a wet cotton wool pad in the bottom of the jar with the glue lid off, nib down, and that works well. Well, I'll try anything because I've got to the side of me 5 glue pots, none of which are empty, but I can't get any glue out. So this is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Keep, oh, okay, just thinking about binning, but okay. Keep it, good for sentiment. Some of that stuff has been in there since about 1972 and I've not used it. 3 3/8. Obviously I'm exaggerating, but it feels like it. I never use it. I mean, I'm not going to bin it now because, I mean, you're right, but I think then it's storing it. Where did you store it? So I'm just doing the same with this as I did with the paper. Emboss with different folders. Oh, Lizzie, what a fab idea. Heather will keep sentiments and Val. Yeah, I get that. I do like that embossing with different folders. I like that idea. Right, so I did that with my card. So who would keep them? Because I don't need them for this card. So would you keep them or would you bin them? Mine are just going straight in the bin. And then that centre one there is just going to sit there, and I'm going to, before I actually stick that down, in case I make a little bit of a muck up of it. What am I doing? Looking for an ink block. That was the only thing I didn't get out. Yeah, that's it. And I'm drowning in scrap paper as well. It's all over the place. Punch labels from the triangles. Do you not throw anything away? Right, so I'm going to stamp here in the middle. Peaceful Moments. Got to be the most used stamp set since Beautiful Friendship. And I'm going to put that in the middle. Does Jez keep everything? I know we've all seen the pictures of Jez's craft space, haven't we? And she would, you know, just get the teeny tiniest bit of scrap and make something out of it. Now, the reason I've not stuck this down is that because if my stamp goes a bit wrong, I can just turn it over and do it on the other side. Now, I'll try and get it straight, but I can't see because I can't get my head over. Oh, you're going to love a bit of Merry Merlot, haven't you? A thrifty Scot. Right, Okay, let's get this back. I think then what I've got to do is just find some better storage. And my craft space really over the next 6 months, 6 months, won't need to be a workspace, because I've got the opportunity to do all of my work at work, which would be quite a novelty. So I really want to do something with this craft space, because my daughter was living here for a while and then she's now moved out. Need to change the locks. And I'm now trying to get my house back to some sort of order again. And my craft space is one of those things. Anyway, so that's that. We've almost finished it. I was going to put a circle on this, but so that's got a circle and that was quite nice. But I think with all the angles, I did really like the rectangle. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to stamp it with, well, I need to find something that fits. No, I didn't choose it. I didn't choose it beforehand. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, that'll do. So this is favourite stamp set of the day, and all this week and last month and everything. Charming Sentiments. And I'm really annoyed with myself that it took me so long to buy it, and then a lot longer after that to actually use it. I remember I was at Karen's house. I do go to Karen's house quite a lot to craft. Yes, you're right there, Karen. I'll get my sewing machine out. And what was I saying? Yes, so she made this card with this sentiment that had been die cut out. And I said, what's that? She said, well, it's Charming Sentiments. I've never heard of it. And it was just really miffed that I hadn't bought it beforehand. Yes, the other thing, I've got a chest of drawers coming. It's just like a second-hand chest of drawers, and I think that's going to be my sewing set of drawers. And I shall put my sewing machine and overlocker on the top of that, and then all my sewing stuff in the drawers. So wishing you everything wonderful. Which possibly could be straighter, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. And I need my, somewhere on my desk I've got some tweezers so I can get my mini dimensionals. No. What did I do with them? Can't find them. I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back of this, which is impossible with these nails. Karen, perhaps rather than a card making day, we'll have a sewing day. I think we had promised ourselves one of those, didn't we? But I don't know when I'm back up north. I do actually know when I'm back up north. End of March. Right, it's got those on there. Now I would like to put, because we don't have any Merry Merlot ribbon, or, well, I don't think there is any Merry Merlot ribbon. So that just needs, I think, do they go? I don't think they do. We might just have to go with standard. Oh, there's some champagne thingies. rhinestones. I'm almost at the end of these. Oh, where's that? There it is. It's not turned up my... So I'm just going to put my tweezers, I don't know where they've gone. I'm just going to put a couple of these on here, like that. Put one over there. Just, oh, get off, go on. One there. Have one up there. Just need to get these used. And I'm going to put that there on that. You could if you wanted to, but we'd be here all night if we were doing this. You could put some flowers on the front of this. If you want to do perhaps some leaves, there's the bow punch, which I think is really nice. That you could have some, you know, sprigs of stuff coming out of that. But we really would be here forever. I'm going to see, because I've got it almost already pre-prepared, another card, but I totally understand that, you know, once you get to an hour of this, it starts to get a bit tedious maybe, I don't know, but I am going to do another card, mainly because I'm filming it for YouTube as well, but I'll do another card as well. So there we are, an arrow fold card. I really like that. I think that if you were going to do a circle, it breaks up these harsh angles. But actually, I think the rectangle goes just as nicely with it. It is really easy to put together. The only thing I would say is just make sure you're as accurate as you can be here. It sits quite nicely as well. Not that you can really see that from that angle, but you do need, it won't work with 6x6 paper. You do need bigger paper. I know that some of ours is 12x12. I've just literally used all of that. But I think it works really nicely in this kind of almost like in a triptych way. So rather than when I've done a triptych before, it's been in 3 panels, but this is 3 panels in a different way. So that's the arrow fold card. I really like that. I think that's a nice card to do, and you can, good to use DSP. So yeah, and if you have a go, Lizzie, and anybody, if you have a go at this, you know, please don't hesitate to drop a picture of it on my page. I would absolutely love to see it. It's really nice to see what other people do. And every now and again I see a YouTube video pop up and somebody says, oh, I saw this on Taffy Crafting. So that's really nice when that happens, you know, when you put things on social media and then somebody else sees it. So, you know, please... yeah, please share what you've made on my page. I'd love to see that. So we're going to have a quick go at this. And I've got to try and remember the measurements. I did have them written down somewhere, but, oh, they are here. I found them. Excuse me while I just... There we go. Because there are some not complicated measurements, there's just lots of them. So the other thing that I need to do is a bit of a blog post for this as well. So anyway, I've used for this one the Regency Park Designer Series paper. I've put that on Night of Navy card. I've got some Balmy Blue card. This is from Artistically Inked. This is from Petal Park, and this is from Forever something. Forever Fern? Where is it? Yeah, from Forever Fern. So I've used lots and lots of things there. So let me show you how to put this together. Now for this card, now I wasn't sure what I was going to use. I did think about using this, but it's really dark on camera, really, really dark. So I am going to make something with this because this is celebration paper and it will be no more in a few days. But instead, I'm going to use... forgotten what it's called. Two-tone floral. Why can I not remember what that's called now? Yeah, I think it's two-tone floral. I love this. I absolutely love this. I don't quite know which way I'm going to do that because again, we are dealing with angles and I don't want to lose. I'm going to be careful how I cut this because I don't use the whole of this. So I think I need to make sure that I use that part of that Got a bit of brown in there, Karen, sorry. And then I'm going to be using this as the backdrop to it. And then the complete background to it will be Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to stick some white in there as well. So it's going to be a white card. I think I've got no choice but to do a white card with some Evening Evergreen layering. And then I'm using this two-tone Flora Designer Series paper. Now it is a bigger card, so it is 6 3/4 tall. So it's it's 6.5. And the reason I'm layering as well is so that I can use this 6x6 paper. So if I started off with a card that was 6.5 inches tall, then my layering can be 6 1/4, which then means I can use this at 6. I was trying to sort those measurements out the other day, wasn't I, Karen, or last night? And I said, well, if I do this, can I do this? And then she was saying, well, try and do it square. No, it's not working square. I haven't got a bit of paper big enough. So I was just trying to work that out. Piece of basic white thick. And this needs to be 11 1/4 inches long. So you're just whipping a little bit off the end. And it needs to be 6.5 inches the other way. So this is what I'm left with a lot of these, because I'm making 5x7 cards. This is what I'm just left with. I don't know if anybody came up with a suggestion how I store these. That's my issue with them. Anyway, back to this. Now we need this to fold into 3. So like I said, I've seen a few people now do this. Karen was the first person I saw doing it. I saw that Lisa Curcio also had a tutorial on this. But these are my measurements. I just needed something just a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is score this at 3 3/4. Had to get my calculator out. What's a third of 11 1/4? And the third of 11 1/4 is 3 3/4. Nice crisp score lines there. Turn your card around and score again at 3 3/4. Or if you don't turn the card around, then you can score at 7.5. But this is the way I prefer to do it. So 11 1/4, score at 3 3/4 and at 7.5. Or score at 3 3/4, turn your card round and score at 3 3/4. Well, funny you should say that, Lizzie. Seeing as you mentioned it, this is what I've got them in hard plastic A4 lidded boxes, and I can't find these anywhere. Not that I've looked too much recently. I also need to create some shelf space. So the next thing I need to do is then make a score line from the bottom here to that first score line there, and then from this score line up to the top edge. And this is when I need to not look at the comments, because I need to be very careful where my score lines and how I'm going to cut my paper. So from bottom to the first score line at the top, and then next score line at the bottom up to that top corner. And you want to get as accurate as possible. As soon as you start dealing with right angles and 45-degree angles, then it starts to get a bit complicated. Yes, Western boxes, that's where they come from. But I think I looked on Amazon, so actually I'll look on their website. I did say I wasn't going to look at the comments. Should take my own advice. Right, want some good score lines on there. So I'm going to bring this in like that and give it a good old burnish. And when that matches up at that score line, you know, then you've got that central. I'm keeping an eye on my template here. So once you've folded that over, you're then going to fold this back on itself. And just be nice and gentle with it. So then we're going to fold that back again. So we're going to fold this over. I always look at this and think, how is that going to work? How is that going to do that? But it does, and then fold it back. Pretty much what we were doing with the arrow fold card, you're folding it over and then folding it back on itself. So that when you close that, actually that's probably the best, that's the best one I've done yet. Really they should meet, but that one is just, there's a little bit of a gap at the bottom. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. Yes, I'll get back on that Western Boxes website actually, because I bought some 12 by 12 ones and these A4 ones, and they're ideal, but I could do with one for scraps. So that's the basis of our card, which is quite straightforward to put together. If you just remember to, as you fold that one in, you're folding that one back. As you fold that in, then you're folding that back. Where it gets tricky is that you need to remember when you're cutting your cards, and you have to try and visualize it and put it all together. So let's start off with the Evening Evergreen. And I need to think in a moment what I'm going to do with the centre of this. I could layer it up with some Evening Evergreen and some more white. I don't know yet. I'll think about that in a minute. And we need some strips that are 3.5 inches. Yes, 3.5 inches by 6.25. Now 6.25 is an absolute pain in the neck to find, but I think it's there. You know, on our old trimmer, 6.5 was really difficult to find. Well, now 6.25 is really difficult. And I just check that by putting that on. Oh, have I done that? Yeah. Yeah, so I put it on the 12, and as long as that comes down to the 5.75, then I know it's right. So what that's going to do, it's going to sit in there. So I need to just slice that. I'm just going to put those 2 points in the track. Obviously, we don't need to worry too much about direction for our cardstock, because we can flip it over either side. Get that back out again in a moment. But so what's going to happen, these are our outside bits, and that's going to sit in there like that, and sit in there like that. So hopefully you can see that. They're going to sit in there like that. So before I do anything else, I'm going to slice this up and then put those on there as well. So this is going to measure 3.25 by 6, yes, by 6. That's it, and that should be that. And then, so that that fits on there, I'm going to slice from bottom right to top left. This is very stressful. I did nearly get the soft suede card out, but I didn't want to offend Karen. Poor Karen gets a lot of stick about not liking brown colours. Don't you, Karen? She's still here. So I'm going to get these glued down before I just get them all mixed up. I don't blame you, Wendy. It's beautiful paper. I love it. Look at that lovely brown. Let's cover it in glue. Now I'm thinking about doing something with this white, but I'll wait until the card is put together first. Well, I know where to come to if I want paper, because I've stopped doing paper shares. Oh, so early espresso doesn't offend you then, Karen? Or soft suede, that doesn't offend you either. But cinnamon cider, no. I did struggle to use cinnamon cider. It was okay because it came out with that Christmas stuff, didn't it? Or there was the gingerbread thing. I quite liked that paper. But that was the only time I kind of really used it. I've tried to get that even, but it isn't. It's slightly out, but I just don't think you'll notice it once the card is put together. If you're going to give this to somebody and they're going to get a ruler out and start measuring if your angles are right, then you've not given the card to the right person. You won't get another card. I'd buy them a 29p one from Card Factory. But the thing, once you've got angles, something's only got to be out by literally less than a millimetre, and it stands out a mile. Thank you everybody for staying with me tonight. We've got to the hour, and I'd always like to do things in an hour, but this is going to go slightly over. And you know, even though my husband's gone out watching the football, I don't feel like I'm on my own in the house. So I got 11 other people with me. Now, I don't like Cajun Craze either. I bought the ink because I think I used it for some autumnal stuff. It's lovely for autumnal stuff. But other than that, nah, didn't like it. Right, so that's the front of my card. And we're going to tell you what I've got to put on here. I've already cut it out. I'm going to put that on there like that. Now I need something to go behind it. And we've got this. Now I've used all of my soft succulent cards, which I'm gutted about. I really am going to miss soft succulent and evening evergreen. I hope at some time it comes back, because I will really miss those. Right, this is back again. I don't want to cut that out just yet until I know what I'm doing with it. So again, this is at 3.5 by that terrible 6 1/4 measurement. I won't cut anything ever again at 6 1/4. Just want to check that that's right. Oh gosh, that's out. Way out. Let's try again. I don't know if my internet keeps failing. I don't know if it's this end or whatever, but the picture keeps jumping every now and again. So I hope you're all still with me. Right, let's try that again. I missed it last time. I think I had it on. So better be right, otherwise I've got to get another piece of card out, and then I won't be happy. That's better. Yeah, I think I am a little bit jumpy tonight. How's the crocheting coming along? 6 1/4 at the join. Yeah, I can just see that mark, yeah. Right, so these, yeah, sorry, just going to stop. Is Janice still with us? Has Janice made a scarf yet? She made an entire jacket. Right, these bits here are going to sit here. So the best thing to do is kind of stick those on. So that's going to go there. So it's on the back of it. So whatever you've got there, it's on the back of it. So what I've got there, it's on the back of it. So that is going to sit there. You've made a bag. So in all of the time that we've been sat here chatting, which has been an hour, you've made a bag. I'm so impressed. Really impressed. All right, I'm going to put that one on first and I'm going to slice my paper. So is it a crochet bag? And you've made a cup of tea. Oh, thanks, Val. I didn't realise if that had gone a bit skew if I just keep seeing my screen jumping from time to time. A soldier on. Can somebody make me a cup of tea? See, that's what normally happens when I'm doing this. My husband brings up a cup of tea and he's probably having a couple of pints. Oh, that means it'd be snoring. I love the contrast of this. So we'll put that one there. And then I need to decide what I'm going to do with the middle. What does your bag look like? A crocheted bag? That sounds really cool. Tried to keep up with comments as I've gone along, but if I've missed any comments out, it's not because I'm ignoring you. I've just kind of missed it. Ooh, look at that. How nice. I'm going to get this. So with this one, we're going to slice from bottom left to top right. But I think I want to get that in there. I want to get a nice mix. I'm so sad that it's Friday tomorrow, and I know that I'm kind of gearing up to going back to work. Oh, but at least the nights are starting to draw out now, aren't they? What did I say that was? That was 3.5, so I think that's 3.25. If I get it wrong, I'm in trouble. Just check. Yeah, 3.25. Jazzle Dazzle Crochet. There we are. We've got a bit of a shout out there. Janice, put a link in the comments if you like, so we can go and follow you. And then I'll read it out so that when this goes on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube, then we can you get another shout out. Has she? Why have I not seen this? Well, I've not been on the planet most of the time. Oh, I do want to have a look. Bottom left, top right. Sorry, I've got to concentrate on this bit because if this goes wrong, I'm just going to have a big hissy fit. I love bags. I used to make bags. One day I'll bring them onto the live and show you what I've made in the past. So what I would say with this, just to get back to this, because this is obviously what we're here for, before you slice this one, and I think I have done a YouTube video for this, but you can watch this back. Just make sure that you get your card down first, because that doesn't matter what way up that goes, because it's the same either side. Put that on first, then decide how you're going to slice up your DSP. Hi there, Karen. Don't worry, I've done one card, just not finished the other one. And it was a very late, notice, but so glad that you've joined us. You're making up the Scottish numbers here. We've got 3 Scots. I think we've got 3 Scots now. A couple of Northerners. A couple of Welshes, if Wendy's still here. I don't know if Wendy is actually Welsh, but we both live in Wales. Ah, there it is. There's Janice's page. Oh, my screen's frozen a little bit. I can't do anything with it. I'll do it in a sec. I will come and join your page, Janice. Anybody else who's on here, go and join Janice's crochet page. So excited to look at that now. Love those contrasts of colours. Absolutely love that. This paper is just beautiful. And it is such a shame that it's only going to be available for 4 months. Such a real shame. But we need to do something in the middle. I think that's just too much white. So, well, that was made for that. This bit of card was just to the side of me. It's just a scrap bit of card. And look, it fits. I don't know what size it is, so I need to measure it. Oh, and there's Janice's lovely face there just popped up. That's 3.5 by 6.25, I reckon. Oh, that was the bit where the measurement had gone wrong. That's probably 6 1/8. I'm still using it. Let me think. I just want to get this, because then I need to be careful with what I'll put next to it. Yeah, that is right. Let's trim it down to 6 by 3.25. Yep. We get a bigger border, but it doesn't matter. It just means that we've got an even border. So it's sitting there like that. And then I need a bit of white card. What's this over here? Oh, that's not white card. Oh, what's that? That'll do. So we'll have that 3. Hope I haven't done this too small. By 5 3/4. God, that matched it totally. Janice, you haven't used the paper. Oh my goodness. Right, I'm going to stamp that, and I'm going to stamp that with... Have I put anything on the front yet? I haven't. So I'm going to do the front first. So I'm just going to put that to one side. And I've lost the circles that I had die cut. Oh. What did I do with them? Because I got them out. There they are. I knew they couldn't be far. And I want to put in there, wishing you the best day ever. I'm going to put that there. Now, the last couple of times I've stamped this, it's not stamped very well. So I just want to make sure that that stamp's okay. And I'll do that on a bit of scrap, which I'll have plenty of. Let's get my evening evergreen. So I like this sentiment because it doesn't have to be about a birthday. That doesn't stamp very well. Let's try it again. Oh God, that's going to be blotchy and horrible now. Ugh. Right, let's quickly clean that. Yeah, so because it says wishing you the best day ever, it doesn't have to be about a birthday. It could be graduation day or first day at work. It's a funny thing to say though, isn't it? The best day ever at work. Right. Let's just try that again. Sorry, but that'll do. That'll do. Just pop that in there like that. Oh, it's a bit off, but okay. Now, do I have any green dots? Probably not. No, I don't. No, that's not going to go. So I think we'll have to have just some basic rhinestones, I think. Oh, I'm gasping for a brew. I'm not far off finished this now. But I think if you were going to do it and you're going to do it in white, I think you might want to put something No, that's too much. You might want to put something inside it. So I'm just going to layer that up with some dimensionals. And the other thing that I would do as well, but you know, there isn't time, otherwise we will be here for too long. I'd put some ribbon on it somewhere. I've still got some evening evergreen ribbon somewhere. That would look nice on it. Oh, these aren't really going particularly in an organised state. Yeah, it would have been better with a foam pad underneath, but to be honest, there's just no more room on my desk. So what I'm going to do when I finish this, I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to clean this desk up. I went to bed last night with a messy desk, and I got up this morning. I was going to meet a friend for a walk this morning, plus I had exam results coming in. And so I had to sit at my desk for a while, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, God, look at that. What a mess. So tonight I will clear it up. Okay, let's put my sentiment on as well. And my sentiment is just going to be a plain, old, simple, happy birthday in the middle. Now, I did say that we'll use that wishing you the best day ever. It doesn't have to be a birthday card. Well, now it is. Now it is a birthday card. I love that Peaceful Moments, and I think that will probably retire when we get to the end of the catalogue. Can somebody confirm that the end of the catalogue is end of April? The end of the annual catalogue is the end of April. Is that the case? Have I got that right? I wanted to start to plan when I would be. Yeah, it is. I've just seen the front of the. Yeah, I've just seen the front of the catalogue. Right, so I'm going to put that in there like that. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. You're probably thinking, oh, for goodness sake, get on with it. Oh, you're not going to finish? The news at 10 is on in 15 minutes. I don't know if anybody's bothered about that, about the shortage of cherry tomatoes. I didn't know that was a thing, actually, until somebody was talking about it on Facebook. I thought, what are you talking about, man? I'm talking about the shortage of cherry tomatoes and how you can get them in a can. No, I tell you what I wanted to do is just find some paper to go in there, but I think I'm going to end up ruining it. I'm going to keep it like that. You could stamp some things on here perhaps just to break it up. I'm just going to leave it there. Otherwise I'll overthink it and I'll ruin it. Just need to put that on there like that. And I'm just going to put some dimensionals just on this back part here. I'm just eyeballing that. Doesn't matter what side you put these on, whether it's the right side or the left side. Mine's going on the left side. I don't know why, just is. Just want to make sure that I haven't overshot my dimensionals. No. Right, let's get those off. Yeah, appreciate the white. Very vanilla wouldn't have worked. We'll try and get that as central as possible. Difficult really to tell, but it's on now. I think that would look really nice with ribbon, but maybe ribbon would be flapping about too much. And you know, the other thing about this card, I just think it would suit, you know, either gender perhaps. I mean, it's got a bit of flora in there, but it's a bit muted in colours. So that is a diagonal gatefold card. I'm really pleased how they've gone after the disaster last week. I'm really pleased how they've gone. So that's our diagonal gatefold card. Nice with two coordinating papers. The only issue is what to put it in. So I think I need to make a box for that or some sort of envelope. I've kind of got a bit of an idea going on, but I'll get back to you on that. That'll be in another live. And then our arrow fold card. You know, both of these I would definitely use to give cards. I've made, you know, quite a few lovely cards recently. The other one that I made, and I don't know if I specifically wanted Karen to see this, because I don't know why. I think because I know how much she likes this paper. Don't worry, I'm not going to demo this. You probably all want to go and watch the telly or go to bed. This is an interlocking gatefold card. So I started off with this with the Rain or Shine paper. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome, Val. So I started off with this and realised then that firstly I hadn't reinforced this, and that a scalloped circle does not work for this because those little points just keep catching on one another. And as you can see, it doesn't open very well. And that's just starting to get a little bit bent. But I just love that little fella. I just think he's so cute. And I think it just goes really nicely with this paper. So then I did another one for a YouTube video. And for this one instead, I used the little rabbit. And I also reinforced the circle. So that's actually got two rings of card. And then I just love the raindrops in the middle. I don't, you know, I thought, oh, that's a bit depressing, isn't it? It's because like it's raining. But I just think it's like looking out of a window. And when I was making this yesterday, doing my YouTube video, it was absolutely chucking it down outside. So it just reflected on my card what was going on outside. So I might do a little tutorial on that soon, so you can see how I put that together. This paper's just so much fun. So you can see, I don't know if you can see that on there. Can you see where my glue just oozed out a little bit? But so yeah, so thank you everybody. I know you love that set, Karen. I know you love it. You love that. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. It's been really lovely to have you with me while my husband's been out watching the football. And yeah, I'll be back again probably next week, maybe Sunday. But I really am hoping next Wednesday to do this again. Wednesday's a good day for me. It's all these cards I've been making. I haven't made so many cards in a week. Normally, I wouldn't even have made that many cards in a month. So that's been quite nice to do that. Now Janice is singing. Raindrops keep falling. It's in my head now. Who was that? Sasha Distel. And Val's just ordered this sweet. Well, I'd love to see what you make with this, Val. Yeah, Lizzie, let's just leave Lizzie and Janice to have a little duet to sing us out for the end of this Facebook Live, singing Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And I hope you're doing it in a French accent, if you're going to do it in the style of Sasha Distel. I'm sure it was him that sung it. Absolutely, we're all showing our age now. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I will be back again soon, hopefully within the next 7 days, maybe even before if I find some time. See you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.